राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवर धारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवर धारी। जय यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरवनचारी। यशोदन जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवर धारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा जय राधा पार्थ सारते राधा पार्थ सारते राधे। जय जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान। जय जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय। जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद कृष्ण कृपा श्री मूर्ति अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत स्वती ठाकुर शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री राधा पारसार्थी गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री मथुरा धाम की जय श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम से जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय जमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. English वाली किताब। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today I will be taking the class in English. I request all the seniors to allow me because the translation of today's verse is not appropriate in Hindi. I would request, so kindly allow me to speak in English today because it is said that the spiritual master marta hai, which is ill-conceived. So I will attempt to speak on a very important verse, today's verse, in the spiritual life of all the sadhakas. The shloka is 49. This is the chapter number 28, which is Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life, and this is, of course, canto 4. The shloka is Evam vilapanti bala vipane anugata patim Patita padayor bhartu rudati ashruni avartayat evam vilapanti bala vipane anugata patim patita padayor bhartu rudati ashruni avartayat Evam vilapanti bala vipane anugata patim patita padayor bhartu rudati ashruni avartayat. Mataji's. Word meaning, evam, thus, vilapanti, lamenting, bala, the innocent woman, vipane, in the solitary forest, anugata, strictly adherent, patim, unto her husband, patita, fallen down, padayo, at the feet, bhartu, of her husband, rudati, while crying, ashruni, tears, avartayat, she said, she shed. I would request some of you who can translate, can please translate. One of you who has been doing the translation service. One Sham Prabhu, you can do. The translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The most obedient wife thus fell down at the feet of her dead husband and began to cry pitifully in that solitary forest. Thus the tears rolled down from her eyes. Please repeat. That most obedient wife thus fell down at the feet of her dead husband and began to cry pitifully in that solitary forest. Thus the tears rolled down from her eyes. Very exceptional purport by His divine grace. Very short, but very deep. Srila Prabhupada says, just as the devoted wife becomes afflicted at the passing away of her husband, when a spiritual master passes away, the disciple becomes similarly bereaved. Here ends the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. Hare Krishna. So this episode that we are hearing for last more than 7 months, the Puranjan Akhyan, which is being spoken by none other than Srila Narad Dev, who is the incarnation of Bhakti Shakti, Shakti Avesh incarnation, to preach and implant Bhakti in the hearts of those who had no Sukriti, who had no merit to practice Bhakti. We see, in fact, this entire Srimad Bhagavatam is actually a gift of Srila Narad Dev. Srila Narad Dev gifted this Srimad Bhagavatam from the spiritual world to the Vyasadev. And here we see that why Narad Dev has appeared to speak before the king Parchini Bharishat. He was not invited. He did not come. Nor Parchini Bharishat ever desired to have association of Srila Narad Dev. And to have association of such exalted Mahabhagavat as Narad Dev for a worldly king who is absorbed in fruitive activities, karmakand, is beyond conception. But Srila Prabhupada, unless and until we have the purports of His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, it is impossible for anyone to access the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada says in the introduction that to penetrate into the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, one must become a recipient of Lord Chaitanya's causeless mercy. And what is the causeless mercy of Lord Chaitanya is the Srimad Bhagavatam purports given by His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. Because if we see that Vyasadeva gave us Srimad Bhagavatam in Devanagari, which is Sanskrit. And this Srimad Bhagavatam has been delivered for those who will appear in the age of Kali. Kalau Nashta Drisham Esha. Purano Arko Adhunoditam. That those whose vision is completely covered and enamored by the darkness of ignorance, for them to have any access or knowledge of Sanskrit. How many of us can claim that we can study Bhagavatam in Sanskrit? So was Vyasadeva not having this future vision that people coming in this age of Kali will not be able to read and write what to say of understanding in Sanskrit? But Srila Vyasadeva knew very well that in future such acharyas will come as Srila Prabhupada. And they will give their purports, their divine ecstasies in the language which anyone and everyone can understand and assimilate. So here we see that Narad Dev has appeared. Why Narad Dev has appeared, Srila Prabhupada gives in this opening of this Puranjan Akhyan. This is explained very vividly in this canto of Bhagavatam. There are more than 4 chapters dedicated to this allegory. It is starting from 25th chapter and continuing till 29th chapter. So in such great description, this Puranjan Akhyan or this allegory has been given. Why? To have an impact on the conditioned souls. And Narad Dev is appearing just out of compassion. Why? Because King Parchani Barishad happens to be the descendant of Maharaja Dhruva. Because Narad Dev delivered Dhruva. Not only Narad Dev has delivered Dhruva, Narad Dev has taken the responsibility of delivering the descendants of Dhruva. And we will see that in the next chapter, Narad Dev is going to deliver the sons of Parchani Barishad, which are the Prachetas. So this is very amazing. This is very this speaks of the responsibility of the Acharya and his compassion and how much burden they are willing to take. And as Lord Chaitanya says, it is Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatra Adara Na Para. That this is a gift, this process of Srimad Bhagavatam hearing, particularly this hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, the process of daily hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nowhere else in any society do we have this system of daily hearing. We hear that people have Bhagavad Saptah. Many people organize Bhagavad Saptah and throughout the year they are out of Bhagavatam class. That is not the process of taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. Nityam. So it is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya's foremost Commander-in-Chief Srila Prabhupada that we have been bestowed this opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and see and penetrate into the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam and see how we can transform our own lives. So here we see that the story goes that it has been progressing till now that Puranjana, who is a fictitious character, who has been taken as a preaching tactics by Narad Dev. And he is preaching to King Parchani Barishad, who is the ruler of the entire world. And this king is completely absorbed in fruitive activities. And he narrates this story so as to bring this king to the platform of accepting bhakti in life. So for preachers, it is a very great learning experience for all of us. And Puranjana, the person who is completely captivated and absorbed by his family members. Deha patya kalatradishu atmasanyashu asatsu apu tesham pramatta nidhanam pashyanapina pashet. So this is the phenomena of this material world. Prabhupada paraphrases in society, love and friendship. So everyone is completely mad. Pramatta means who is mad. Why? Deha patya kalatradishu. They are thinking that by the means of my body, deha, apatya means those who are born from my body, my children, and kalatradishu, wife. They will become my soldiers. They will protect me at the time of death. But Atma Sanyashu Asatsu api. But these are all fallible soldiers. And we see in the case of Puranjana that when he is approached by death, none of them are able to give him any support. And because of his consciousness at the time of death being absorbed in his family members, particularly his wife, he becomes, in the next life, now he becomes a woman. That is the title of this chapter, that Puranjan becomes a woman. But after being given the body of a woman, he gets a birth, which is very, very, very auspicious. He gets the birth, she gets the birth as the daughter of the king of Vedarbh. And this king is very, very powerful. And more fortunate this Vedarbhi becomes when she gets Malayadhwaja as her husband. And Malayadhwaj is not an ordinary personality. He is the king, and not only the king, he is being said by Srila Shukadev Goswami as Rajarishi. He is the Bhagavatottama. He is the topmost devotee. And because she gets married to this devotee, now her life is going to transform. So we are coming to the pinnacle of this particular Puranjan Akhyan, which will come next. The perfection of the Akhyan is to have the audience of the Lord. And we will see that Vaidarbhi, in just few more further shlokas, she will get an opportunity to have audience of the Supreme Lord. Although incognito. The Lord will not appear in his transcendental features. He will appear as a Brahmana. So how this fortune came upon this character Vaidarbhi? It is only by her good association with Malayadhwaj, the king. And here it is being exhibited, the shlokas that we have been reading in the past, that she exhibited all the great qualities. And Srila Prabhupada in his purports is continuously comparing the good qualities of Vaidarbhi with a good disciple. Prabhupada, if you see in the purports, is continuously explaining that in many of the purports. So what are the great qualities? The first thing is that she has accepted her husband as a guru. So Malayadhwaj represents the spiritual master. And he is a Sadguru. And Vaidarbhi is a Sadashishya. How she is a Sadashishya, as it is being stated here in today's verse, that the most obedient wife, she has the topmost quality of being completely obedient. She is completely submissive and she performs all the services very diligently. To the extent she is absorbed in performing the services of serving his spiritual master who has come in the role of husband, she has forgot her own well-being. It is being explained here in details that she could not even take care of her body. We see that continuously this theme is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. When we see that in the third canto, who is the character? Devahuti and Kardam Muni. And also in the fourth canto, we see the glorious personality of Mother Archi. She is the glorious wife of King Prithu. And when King Prithu decided to go in the Vanaprasth, she followed and accompanied him and served him. And at the end, like we are seeing here in this particular episode, that when Maharaj Prithu passed away, then she did all the final oblations and rites, and she was so glorious that even the demigoddess of the heavenly planets, they came to have her audience. And so here we see that this Vaidarbhi is exhibiting the topmost quality of obedience. And even after she sees that her husband has passed away, she does not cease to serve her. She continues to do the last rite. So we will talk on two aspects. That what is it that impedes our progress in spiritual life? And what is it that we need to do so that we can progress in our spiritual life? And particularly here Srila Prabhupada says that we'll talk about the disciple becomes similarly bereaved when the spiritual master passes away. The loving feelings that a disciple has for his spiritual master. So here we see in this Puranjan Akhyan that the reason why this allegory has been explained in such length is to bring out the material disease of family attachment. So much this Puranjan was absorbed in his family life, Dehapatta Kalatradishu, that he became spiritually blind. And not only he became blind, Pashyanapi na Pashyat. He knew that inevitable death is going to approach him, but he was not ready to take any remedial measure or to take to the spiritual self-realization practice. So attachment and pride, these are the two greatest impediments in a spiritual practitioner's life. Because both of these impediments completely covers the intelligence. It bewilders the living entity. Shri Shri Radha Parsati Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. So any attachment which is cultivated on the bodily platform, it brings to us to the destruction. It perpetually makes us repeated to come in the cycle of birth and death, as we see in the case of Puranjana. But Srimad Bhagavatam explains, if the same attachment, prasangam ajaram pasham atmana kaviyo vido, saev sadhusa krito mokshadvaram apavritam. Because Srila Prabhupada explains very graphically that any attachment on the material plane is going to bind the living entity to be repeated into the cycle of birth and death. And attachment, one cannot be without attachment. The nature of soul is to have attachments. It cannot be without attachments. It cannot be desireless, as is the philosophy of some impersonalists. They propose the theory of nirvana, saying that all these sufferings are there because there are desires. So if we cease to have desire, we will be liberated. That means they are trying to diminish. They are atmaha. Srimad Bhagavatam says atmaha, because it is the natural propensity of the soul to have desires and attachments. So such people who are trying in this way, they are trying to be the killers of the soul. But that is not possible. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin. The soul can never be killed. But what is very important that we see from this character of Vedarbi is that how she is completely attached to the service of her husband, which is King Malaridhwaj. So if we see how she is so much attentive. She is so attentive in her service that because of this attention, she has built attraction. So this is the chronology. It is being narrated by Mother Kunti. She explains in her prayers to the Lord, the Supreme Lord. She says, Tvai me anana vishaya matir madhupate asukrit. Matir, Srila Prabhupada translates as attention. Srila Prabhupada does not translate as consciousness. He says that it is Tvai me ananya vishya matir madhu pate sukrit. Let my all attention be on you. Why I want to be very attentive towards you? Before this she says that Atha Vishvesha Vishwatma Vishwamurte Swakeshu me Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Didushu Pandishu Vishnusu. So please sever all my family ties which are with the Pandavas and also the Vrishnis. And among the Vrishnis is the Supreme Lord himself. But she is saying that any attachment which is there on the bodily level must be severed. Sne pasham imam chindi. That please cut, please sever with determination. Dridushu, Pandishu, Vishnushu. And here she says that why she wants to sever that material attachment, because she wants to cultivate the spiritual attachment. She says, Tvai me anan vishya matir madhu pate sakrit. That let my entire attention be towards you. Why? Because I want to develop ratim. She is already on that level, but she is teaching us by her prayers that let my undivided attention be towards you, because I can develop attraction for you. Srila Prabhupada translates ratim as attraction. And with this attention and attraction, what naturally comes is the affection, which Srila Prabhupada is talking about in the purport, that a disciple must have for his spiritual master. So if we are attentive in the messages, in the instructions which are coming from the lotus mouth of our spiritual master, and we will develop attraction for it. And the process says that once we develop attraction for this message, there will be natural affection. And this affection will lead to spiritual attachment. So this relationship will be on the spiritual platform. This is the most loved of all relationships. All other relationships that we get in this material world are based on body, and they are forced upon us. But this relationship can be cultivated based on one's spiritual attachment. That is the relationship between the disciple and the spiritual master. So when such attachments develop, one will be completely absorbed, like we see our acharyas. We had in the last month, we had so many appearances and disappearances of the acharyas. And we see in the glorious lives of Ramanujacharya, Sripad Madhvacharya, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, how they are completely absorbed. And in that absorption, when there is passing away of the acharya or the spiritual master, what they intensely feel is separation. So this cultivation of feeling of separation, which Srila Prabhupada is indicating to us in this purport, cannot be cultivated without going through these phases in life. That first is we must have our attention. If our attention is divided, if our mind is spaced out, or it is absent-minded, there is no question of feeling of separation. So I talk about myself that for us to experience any feeling of separation seems utopian. Why? Because there is no attraction. Neither there is attraction nor there is attachment. What to say of absorption to be able to have the feelings of separation. So this is very essential. And in that state of separation, one can experience the spiritual bliss, the bhava. In one of the letters, Srila Prabhupada, in 1967, the early time, when Srila Prabhupada was recuperating from one of the health issues, and he had to come from his preaching tour in US to Vrindavan. And one of her disciples, Mother Janaki, she, in 1967, on 16th of September, she wrote a very touching letter to her spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And when Srila Prabhupada received this letter, he very much appreciated and wrote back. Srila Prabhupada said that tears for Lord Krishna are as good as associating with him personally. In the spiritual world, separation is more valuable than meeting. So these feelings of separations and tears are the sign of spiritual advancement. So we see, Srila Prabhupada says that at the time of the passing away of the spiritual master, the disciple must be bereaved. He must be grief-stricken. There must be lamentation. we, every time when there is the passing away of the Acharya, we have Tirobhav. So we sing this beautiful composition of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Swa Parshad Bhagvat Virha Janita Vilap. Separation means the Vipralamba Bhav, the Viraha, the feeling of intense, deep pain of having the beloved departed. So Srila Prabhupada, we see that when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in Srila Prabhupada's life also we see that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur left and he passed away in 1st January 1937. On 1st January 1937. And Leelamrit Janu Avadut Prabhu very lovingly gave me this episode yesterday. He was narrating. And we read from the Leelamrit that Srila Prabhupada was in Mumbai when this news came to him that His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, has left the world. And Srila Prabhupada also was very much grief-stricken. And Srila Prabhupada had cried. And Srila Prabhupada says that, on that day, O my master, I made a cry of grief. I was not able to tolerate the absence of you, my Guru. So this is intense. This is a very hard topic for me to speak on this. But I will attempt on the basis of what our acharyas are practicing and inspiring us, that the spiritual master, when he passes away, that is the most bereaved day in the life of a disciple. Because it is not that he is not aware, he is oblivious of this fact that the spiritual master is eternal. He is very well aware of this fact. It is said, Srila Prabhupada says, that separation meant for Srila Prabhupada that no more meetings and no more trips to Vrindavan and Calcutta. We see that Srila Prabhupada had association with the spiritual master when he went for a business trip. And he decided to go to Radhakund to have the association of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And so Srila Prabhupada is feeling the separation, he is feeling the pangs, and he was, in his deep desire, he was contemplating that he will not get an opportunity to have physical association with his spiritual master. And this was very painful. Although he was completely armed with philosophy, he knew that there are no reasons to lament. Still, he felt alone. But for Srila Prabhupada, there was a great consolation. Why? Because just 2 weeks before the departure of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur personally wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada. And that letter arrived to Srila Prabhupada in Mumbai just 2 weeks before Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's departure. And in this letter, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave the final instructions to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada read this letter again and again, several times. And Srila Prabhupada was able to conquer the feeling of lamentation because he knew for him what is more important is to follow the orders and to please the spiritual master. And we see that how Srila Prabhupada has done this, that Srila Prabhupada wrote tirelessly. Srila Prabhupada never slept. To fulfill the orders of his spiritual master, he gave us the Bhakti Vedanta purports, and he is dedicating the Srimad Bhagavatam, the crest jewel of all literatures by Srila Prabhupada. He says that this Srimad Bhagavatam is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I don't know why it is not written here. Normally it is there in every book. हिंदी वाले में है प्रभु जी? प्रभुपाद जी का डेडिकेशन श्रीमद् भागवतम का होना चाहिए, वो पेज दिख नहीं रहा है इसमें. I don't know how it has been missed out in this particular book. इसमें नहीं है? इसमें नहीं लिखा हुआ. Somehow BBT has to take care of this. This must be there. And so that whoever becomes the reader must know that this is the humble offering of Srila Prabhupada to his spiritual master. Okay. Yeah, but it must be there in every part. This is the most important part of the book. So we see that this is the sentiment, the emotion. So what is bhakti? The practice of spiritual practice is the cultivation of the right emotion and sentiment. The expression of one's loving feeling. An offering of feelings. And we also see when Srila Prabhupada departed from this world, same situation came. And I would like to read the offerings of His Holiness Indudum Swami Maharaj. Very, very wonderfully, Maharaj has captured the feelings of Srila Prabhupada's disciples and the pain of separation at the time of Srila Prabhupada's disciple. So, Indudum Maharaj in one of his Vyasa Puja offering writes this feeling. The title is Feeling of Separation. I will take some parts because it is a big offering. I don't have so much of time. But you can read. And before I read that, there is another offering of Srila Prabhupada. I would read first that in December 1958, when Srila Prabhupada was just on the verge of taking sannyas, Srila Prabhupada composed a very wonderful poem, which is also a prayer in separation from his spiritual master. It is called Virha Ashtaka. I don't know how many of you have read it or accessed it. It is not published much, but somehow by mercy I found it. I found it today only. It says, "O Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Prabhupada, Desi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada is offering this to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. O Srila Prabhupada, you personally suffer to see the sufferings of the fallen conditioned soul. On this anniversary of your separation, I am utterly despondent." Despondent means disheartened or without hope. This is a long poem. It has 8 ashtakas, means 8 stanzas. And in each stanza, Prabhupada is explaining 8 verses. So it is an offering of 64 verses. Then Srila Prabhupada continues. I've taken few of the verses. To those devotees to whom the responsibility was given to continue spreading this flood of love, Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan, somehow became overpowered by Maya and are thus reduced to simply performing ritualistic Hindu ceremonies for benefits of materialists. So this is the pain that Srila Prabhupada is having in his heart. That the pure message which his spiritual master gave to spread has been lost. Sa kalena mahata yoga nashta parantapa. Just after the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he disappeared in 37 and Prabhupada is giving this offering in 58, in just a short span of 17 years. But Srila Prabhupada took the resolve and he has given us the Bhakti Vedanta purports and established so solidly the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and the previous acharyas that it will be present for next 10,000 years. There will be no break of parampara because the parampara has been established by Srila Prabhupada's purports. Further, Srila Prabhupada expresses his feelings and sentiments. He says that on the strength of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's command, you sent all your associates as spiritual masters, going from door to door just to deliver the fallen souls. He further says the most significant message that you boldly preached everyone, but in your absence, O Master, everything has fallen into darkness. The resolute intelligence, Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi, which is explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the Bhagavad Gita 2.41, has been now spoiled. Since your disciples have become enamored by the bewildering news of Maya. So this is the pain which Srila Prabhupada had. And with this pain, Srila Prabhupada prepared his lifetime to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya. And you see, the sentiments which Srila Prabhupada had in his heart, these sentiments, this feeling, this mood of separation was passed on by Srila Prabhupada to his disciples. So this offering of Indudum Swami Maharaj, I'll try another 5-7 minutes how much I can share with you. So when Srila Prabhupada passed on this very fateful day of 14 November 1977 in Vrindavan, so all his followers, his disciples were heartbroken. There was an ocean of bereavement. And in that ocean of bereavement, this is a drop of offering from His Holiness Indudum Swami Maharaj. Try to hear attentively the emotions, the feelings of separation. Indudum Maharaj says, "My dear master, I will never forget that fateful day of 14th November 1977 when the Lord took you back to the spiritual world, making us all, your loving disciples, spiritually orphans. As news of your departure spread far and wide, we sat in disbelief and for a moment prepared to grieve what we thought would be eternity." Irrespective of however the disciple is steady or mature, it is impossible for him to prepare for this day. This is what is the realization of Indudum Maharaj. He says, the day, the deep separation we experienced seemed more than any of us could bear. For all of us loved you more than anyone has ever loved you before. See the feelings. How could it be otherwise? You were our Savior, convinced of the timeless wisdom of the scriptures that you had spoken so eloquently. We had taken up the process of Krishna consciousness in earnest, renouncing the so-called pleasures of this world in a moment. Much to our surprise of family friends, we eagerly embraced a life what appeared to be penance and austerity, but which when mixed with sweetness of service to your lotus feet, quickly turned into a life of ecstatic love and joy. As I look back and reflect on your departure, I realize now that nothing could have ever prepared us for that most catastrophic event in this life of any disciple. Not even the countless classes and instructions you yourself had given on the ephemeral nature of material life. It is not that these devotees, these are very realized souls. They know that the material life or this, in the life in this material world will not stay for eternity. But still he is expressing that none of the philosophy or the knowledge will work when such a day will come. And now the inevitability of cruel death. So we grieved, as you yourself had done on the day of your spiritual master's departure. So here we see that Srila Prabhupada is saying that when the spiritual master passes away, that is a day of bereavement for the disciple. That means that one should be able to feel that separation from his spiritual master. One will be able to feel the separation only if he has spiritual connection. There may be many initiates, but as Srila Prabhupada said that there are only few disciples. So those who are worthy disciples will be able to experience this feeling of separation, who are dedicating their life to carry on the instruction of their spiritual masters. There are many senior devotees. If you would like to express or comment on this.
हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा, धन्यवाद। हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ। तो इसमें प्रभुपाद ने जो व्याख्या दी है, तात्पर्य दिया है, वो एक बहुत ही उस आध्यात्मिक दृष्टिकोण से दिया है। लेकिन साथ साथ एक सिद्धांत ये भी है कि अगर स्त्री अगर अपने पति की परायण हो और वो उससे आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान कुछ नहीं है, जैसे यहाँ पर कथा में इस प्रकार से बताया गया है कि वो अपने पति की अनुगता है, अपने पति के सेवा में ही केवल समर्पित है और वो कुछ नहीं जानती है, उसको आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान कुछ नहीं है और उसने पति को ही अपना सर्वस्व मान लिया है। तो ऐसी स्थिति में जो स्त्री है वो पति लोक में जाती है। तो पति जहाँ जाएगा, अगर पति शुद्ध भक्त है तो ये बहुत आदर्श स्थिति होती है स्त्री के लिए कि उसका जो है फिर निश्चित है कि वो पति के साथ जहाँ भी पति जाएगा वहाँ जाएगी। इसलिए बताया गया कि स्त्री को जो है पति की सेवा करनी चाहिए, अगर पति पापी ना हो। लोके फिर पातकी, अगर पापी नहीं है तो स्त्री जो है अगर अपने पति की सेवा करती है तो पति का जितना भी धर्म और पुण्य है वो उसका आधा वो ले लेती है। तो एक बड़ी आदर्श स्थिति है कि अगर जो है पति शुद्ध भक्त हो और वो जो है केवल पति का ही उसको संबंध, वो जानती है कि ये मेरे पति हैं। जैसे बताया अनुगता पतिम, तो वो जो है उसको आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान नहीं है लेकिन पति की अनुगता है केवल। उसी प्रकार से कोई शिष्य है अगर उसको आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान नहीं भी हुआ और गुरु शुद्ध भक्त है और गुरु की सेवा में अगर वो समर्पित है तो गुरु की जो है आसक्ति में ही वो जो है वहाँ जाएगा जहाँ उसके गुरु गए हैं। ये भागवत का सिद्धांत है, प्रसंगम जरम पासम आत्मना कवियो विदु, कि जो आसक्ति है तो ये जो है बड़ा कठोर बंधन है जो कभी छूटता नहीं है। लेकिन एव साधु सुकृतो, वही आसक्ति का साधु के प्रति हो जाए तो मोक्ष द्वारम अपावृतम, तो खुला हुआ मुक्ति का द्वार है। तो किसी साधु जो शुद्ध भक्त है उसमें अगर आसक्ति हो जाए अपनी, चाहे पुत्र के रूप में हो जाए, चाहे पति के रूप में हो जाए, चाहे पिता के रूप में हो जाए, चाहे गुरु के रूप में हो जाए, तो वो आसक्ति जो है वो खुला हुआ मुक्ति का द्वार है। तो ये भी एक सिद्धांत ये भी है। लेकिन साथ साथ जो प्रभुपाद सिद्धांत दे रहे हैं आध्यात्मिक ज्ञान जो है शिष्यों ने प्राप्त किया है गुरु से, तो उनको शोक करना चाहिए, गुरु के लिए शोक करना चाहिए। साथ साथ ये भी है कि उसकी एक सीमा है, शोक की एक सीमा है, क्योंकि इसके बाद फिर अपना कर्तव्य निश्चित करना है, शिष्य को अपना कर्तव्य निश्चित करना है, गुरु की शिक्षाओं का पालन करना है। फिर ये ऐसा भी शोक नहीं होना चाहिए सीमा से ज़्यादा कि वो शोक में ही मतलब पड़े रहें कि आगे का काम सब बंद हो जाए, तो ये भी नहीं होना चाहिए।
Something I would like to add, see the separation which Srila Prabhupada's disciples felt, that how they were able to overcome this lamentation by being completely absorbed in carrying out the orders of Srila Prabhupada. And we see in 1978, the anniversary year of Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, the first anniversary year, Srila Prabhupada's disciples distributed more than 50 million of Srila Prabhupada's book worldwide. And that is a record till date. Till now, with all so many, there were not 500 plus temples at that time. There was hardly 10% of the devotees that we have in ISKCON now, world over. But the book distribution score of 50 million is still to be touched in any year. So that is how they took the separation of Srila Prabhupada by absorbing, by dedicating themselves in executing the orders of Srila Prabhupada. There are many more examples. 1 minute. If somebody has any question or 1 second, Prabhu. Before you have a comment. Which one? Yeah, that letter, the time was not there. Yeah, you can only see from this class. I can only present few things. It is for individuals to absorb and take inspiration, and there is so much. Each offering which is given by Srila Prabhupada disciple, I can see, has so much of depth, so much of meaning and feelings. This is the spiritual relation that they are sharing with their spiritual master. That is how the feeling of separation is profusely flowing from their heart. Yes, Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा। श्रीमन जीतामित्र प्रभु जी, आपने बहुत ही तार्किक व्याख्यान दिया कि अगर पत्नी भक्त नहीं है, पति भक्त है, तो उसके आधे पूरे पत्नी को प्राप्त हो जाते हैं, और जिस लोक में पति जाएगा उस लोक में पत्नी को भी स्थान मिलता है, जैसा कि आपने श्रीमद् भागवत के अनुसार व्यक्त किया। तो अगर पत्नी भक्त है, पति अभक्त है, तो क्या पति को भी पत्नी के पुण्य का अंश कुछ प्राप्त होता है श्रीमद् भागवत के कथन अनुसार या शास्त्रों के अनुसार? हरे कृष्णा, इस पर व्याख्यान देने की कृपा करें। हरे कृष्णा।
प्रभुपाद जी लिखते हैं, देखिए भगवान ने भगवत गीता में सिद्धांत दिया है। श्रीमद् भागवतम जो है वो भगवत गीता के जो सिद्धांत है उसी का एक्सपेंशन है। तो जो सिद्धांत भगवान ने भगवत गीता में दिया है उसी का ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन है श्रीमद् भागवतम। भगवान क्या बोलते हैं, ज्ञान क्या है? ज्ञान के 20 आइटम है। भगवत गीता 13वें अध्याय और 8 से लेके 12 तक बोलते हैं, आसक्ति अनाभिष्वंग पुत्रदार ग्रह आदिशु। ये और ये यहाँ पे भी बताया गया कि देह आपत्य कलत्र आदिशु। तो अगर प्रभुपाद जी कहते हैं कि जो ये पत्नी है और बच्चे हैं ये किसी भी व्यक्ति के लिए ये नेचुरल सोर्स ऑफ अफेक्शन है, लेकिन यहाँ बताया गया कि वन मस्ट गिव अप। तो प्रभुपाद जी कह रहे हैं उन्हें उस स्थिति में गिव अप करने की जरूरत नहीं है, उन्हें त्यागने की जरूरत नहीं है जब वो 4 चीजों का पालन करते हैं। आप उस देख सकते हैं उस तात्पर्य को। उस तात्पर्य में प्रभुपाद जी कहते हैं कि अगर वो व्यक्ति यानी कि ये स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर की जो पोजीशन है ये पति की होती है। आपने कभी देखा कि पत्नी स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर बन रही है और पति शिष्य बन रहा है? ऐसा शास्त्र में कोई उदाहरण नहीं आता है। तो ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है किसकी? पति की, कि वो भी कृष्ण भावना भावित हो और अपने जो डिपेंडेंट्स है। वो श्लोक आता है ना ऋषभ देव का। ऋषभ देव का श्लोक क्या है? याद नहीं आ रहा है। फर्स्ट लाइन है,
गुरु न स्यात्
गुरु न सस्यात् पिता न सस्यात् ना मोचेत समुपेत मृत्युम। तो उसमें क्या करना है? अगर पत्नी और पति दोनों ही अगर अभक्त हैं और उनकी भक्त बनने की संभावना नहीं है तो उसे त्याग देना चाहिए। भगवान भगवत गीता में बता रहे हैं, आसक्ति अनाभिष्वम पुत्रदार ग्रह आदिशु। हमारे लिए महत्वपूर्ण यह है कि जो हमारी आसक्ति है इस शरीर और शरीर के संबंधियों के साथ जो हमें कृष्ण भावनामृत में आगे नहीं बढ़ने दे रही, उसके बारे में हम क्या विचार कर रहे हैं? उसके बंधन से क्या हम बाहर निकलने के लिए प्रयास कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं? हरे कृष्णा।
इसमें एक बात यह है कि जो इन्होंने कहा कि पत्नी को पति के जो पुण्य है उसका आधा फल मिलेगा, ऐसा नहीं है कि केवल पत्नी है वो समर्पित हो। यहाँ पर जो बात है समर्पण की है कि पत्नी समर्पित हो तब वो पति के लोक में जाएगी। नहीं तो खाली पत्नी है लेकिन वो समर्पित नहीं है तो उसका अलग रास्ता, वो नरक में भी जाएगी। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वो पति का पुण्य ले लेगी। और पति भी जो है पत्नी के जो धर्म का जो है आधा हिस्सा ले सकता है अगर वो उसकी सहायता कर रहा है, उसके सहयोग कर रहा है। अगर पत्नी भक्त है और पति भक्त नहीं है, तो पत्नी की भक्ति में वो विरोध नहीं कर रहा है और उसका सहयोग कर रहा है तो वो भी आधा ले लेगा। तो ये विधि है इस तरह की।
श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। उपस्थित